Hey guys, Josh here, and today I'm going to be taking you through weeks 4 through 5 as I learn the piano using the PianoForAll program. I've been a little busy this past couple weeks just with class starting up, but I've gotten to fit in enough practicing time to where I felt like it was worth it to upload another video. So to start off, I'm actually going to play the Carpenter song that I played in the last video just to see how I'm progressing. So let's take a listen to see how that sounds. So other than that really foul sounding note that was scattered through there, I think it's sounding pretty good. Hopefully you hear some improvement if you've seen the last video. One of the things though is that I did switch up how I played it a little bit, and that I didn't play every chord in root position. I played the proper inversion to make it so where my right hand doesn't have to jump around as much. So physically it's easier to play, but mentally it's still a bit of a challenge because now I have to think about which inversion to play. But definitely think that it sounds at least more organic than the last time I played it. Okay, so let's move on to week 4. So in that I was working through the latter half of book 3. And so by the end of book 3, I was able to play every single major and minor chord, basic chord, as well as each of their inversions. And one of the things that I found that was difficult was figuring out which position of the chord to play in a given song, because it tells you what position to play the chord in the beginning of the song, but then every subsequent chord, it just gives the chord name, and then you have to figure out which chord makes the most sense. So to give an example of that, if I want to play a G chord, I can play it in root position, I can play it in the middle position, or I can play it in a backwards inversion. And I highly doubt those are the formal names for them, but that's how the book teaches them, so that's how I'm going to talk about them now. So if you play G in the backwards inversion here, and then we have to go to a C major, well, again, there's 3 different ways to play C major, so as I'm going through the songs, I have to think about what makes the most sense at the time. So from this position, it makes the most sense to go to C in root position, because if I were to do any other, my hand would be jumping around a bit. So that was difficult getting used to, trying to mentally think about which chord makes the most sense. I ultimately like it though, because it gets my brain working to figure out which chords make the most sense in a given progression. If we move on to week 5, I moved on to book 4, which is even more chords. So now we're doing more advanced chords, so we learn things such as suspended chords, 9th chords, 11th chords, augmented chords, diminished chords. We learn all these chords, and it's just a shotgun of information, but all good stuff. So the diminished chords sound kind of weird, to be honest. They have a lot of tension to them, but in a progression, they can have an interesting resolve about them, but I don't use them a lot in my playing yet. But the 9th chords can sound pretty cool, and the 11th chords, so like a C 9th is played like this. The only thing I don't like about this part of the book is that it bunches the 9th chord and the 11th chord into one chord, so that if you see a 9th chord, you would play it the same way you'd play an 11th chord. And I get that's good for beginning, but I hope later on that the distinction is made on how to play each individually. So what I'll do now is I'll play what I consider to be a challenging piece for me to play. It's a Beatles song called Sweet Madonna, so let's take a listen. So that's a mental struggle. And physical. I mean, that's not an easy song for me to play. So as you can tell, that was nowhere near perfect by any means. So hopefully in the next video, I'll play that again. I'll be able to get that smoother next time. The other thing I want to do though is I want to play you a song that, or rather a piece of a song that I've written utilizing some of the components from the program that I've learned. So I'll let you take a listen to it. I think it sounds pretty good so far though. So that's what I have so far. So in the coming weeks, I'll try to develop that further, but I like the direction where it's going. So you can drop a comment, let me know how you like it. And yeah, that'll be it for this week. I'll just keep chugging along with the program. I'll try to practice where I can. And if you have any suggestions, please let me know. If you like the video, feel free to subscribe and thumbs up. And as always, I'll leave a description for the PianoForAll product in the description below. All right, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.